Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Orchestrated Rams with Ian on the Rams Up Podcast Network. Today we'll be breaking down Rams versus Eagles Divisional Round playoffs. And wow, what a game this was. As every quarter was progressing, the snow kept progressing as well, as I believe this game became an instant classic in the divisional round of the playoffs, as both teams were slugging it out defensively. Huge play after huge play. Impactful play after impactful play. You saw everything. Big quarterback sacks, big catches, big runs, improbable plays being made, and the snow just made it so much better. And in today's episode, we'll be breaking down the top 5 most impactful plays of the game. Offense, defense. Man, what a game this was to study. And with that said, let's get into it. On this first impactful play of the game, second quarter, 30 seconds left before halftime. Eagles have the ball here. 2nd and 8 situation as the Rams are down 10-13. And the Eagles are going to be passing the football here. And I have it at this camera angle, not the full field camera angle, because I think the passing routes are irrelevant based on what happens on this play here. But just know Eagles are passing it, and the Rams are in their nickel package, which is 5 defensive backs on the field. You know, you can yank out an extra D lineman, an extra linebacker, and then you sub in extra defensive guys, defensive backs, because you want more faster, quicker coverage dudes to be able to guard the pass a little bit better. That's what the Rams decided to do here, but they do have a traditional nickel look where they did keep both inside linebackers, Christian Roseboom, Omar Spates, outside linebacker, Jared Verse, outside linebacker, Byron Young, and then they have Kobe Turner, and then Dejuan Johnson, who's in for an injured Braden Fisk at D-tackle. So, out of this, the Rams are running cover 6. You can't see the full picture, I understand, and that is basically 3 people deep, 2 deep on one side, one half of the field, one person guarding one half by himself on the other side, with everyone in zone coverage underneath, of course. And out of this here, the Rams are going to be running an inside linebacker blitz. And what is that going to look like? So, you're going to get Jared Verse off the edge. You're going to get Kobe Turner on the inside, Dejuan Johnson on the inside there as well. But Byron Young is going to drop into coverage as he will not rush. Roseboom's also going to drop like a normal inside linebacker, but they're going to have Omar Spates inside linebacker. He will be blitzing. He'll be rushing the quarterback. So him and Young basically switch roles here. And it's a normal 4-man rush other than it being different people out of this cover 6 nickel package look that the Rams are doing. And why do you do that? Well, you know, you're trying to play mind games with the opposing offensive line, quarterback, where you never know where someone's coming. Maybe you catch somebody not paying attention. Maybe it frees somebody else up because a lineman might freak out and say, uh-oh, I got to go help on this side, which maybe leaves somebody one-on-one, and they lose that matchup. You know, all these different scenarios are why you try to play these mind games with the opposing offense and the quarterback, of course. So the Rams decided to do this, which they haven't done a whole lot with Omar Spates and the inside linebackers. But here they are doing it here on the 2nd and 8. With, again, the Eagles already in field goal range. Probably going to get a field goal off minimum, but they're trying to advance the football, make an easier field goal, or maybe even score a touchdown. So the Rams are taking a slight little gamble, hopefully, to get to the quarterback. So that's what they're running. And let's let it play a little bit and see what the heck happens. So as we let it go, you'll see a couple things. You'll see Omar Spates start to creep up slowly as he was trying not to give it away initially, where he was like, okay, I'm going to stand up, and as it gets closer and closer to the ball being snapped, then I'll start to creep up. So it's not super obvious that, you know, right off the bat I'm going to be coming and they can call me out and get me, you know, blocked. So he times it pretty good. He says, okay, let me just creep up slowly, and the ball is snapped. Then here we go. So let's let it go a little bit more. And you could see that he gets a free shot to the quarterback. And for whatever reason, I'm going to go back right here. You see Mekhi Becton, the right guard. I mean, he's staring right at Omar Speights coming. And I don't know whether he thinks that Lane Johnson's going to pick him up or that the route combinations, because the Eagles were running some quick pass kind of routes, a slant and a little stop curl, that maybe he was thinking, all right, Jalen Hurts is going to be able to throw this pretty fast. It's not going to matter. Either that or he thought Lane Johnson was going to get him. And again, totally looks at him, but just leaves him be. Lets him rush in, and let's let it go a little bit more. So he takes that look, and then he says, oh, I'll help inside instead. And then, of course, Lane Johnson, rightfully so, is trying to get Jared Verse under control, who is the best pass rusher for the Rams. And again, Mekhi Becton just says, oh, I'll help on Kobe Turner instead. And there's Omar Speights with a free shot on Jalen Hurts. The Red Sea is open, and I'm sure Omar's like, holy crap, I can't believe it. And I'm sure Jalen Hurts thought the same thing as well. So let's let it go a little bit more. And again, free shot. Jalen says, uh-oh. Gets wrapped up. And then Omar, being a smaller inside linebacker, Jalen's a bigger, taller, stronger, lower leg guy. He doesn't go down pretty easily. So Omar's a little bit struggling there to get him down initially. But with that struggle, he pops the football out. Man, oh man. What a huge play this was. Obviously to get the sack, let the clock keep running, but to be able to force that football out, get it to roll backwards into midfield. I mean, what a huge turn of events this was, from Eagles being in automatic field goal range pretty much. And I know they've had a kicker on and off with how accurate he's been, but definitely easy field goal, points before the half, to now being out of field goal range. I mean, what an impactful play this was. To be able to get the sack, force the fumble, get that ball to roll backwards. And the Eagles never recovered after this. Didn't get a single point before the half. So what an impactful play this was. What a great job by Omar Speights. And then what a complete mess up by the Eagles O-line there. Mekhi Becton, Lane Johnson, whether it was one or the other or all together. I mean, to let somebody come in free like that after a lineman looked at him, let him go. Very curious to why that happened. Regardless, Rams took advantage and then held the Eagles to 0 points, getting, obtained there on that drive one. Again, they definitely should have had at least 3 on that. But what an impactful play. Good job by Omar Speights, making something out of what probably should have been nothing. But hey, Eagles O-line screwed up and he made them pay. On the second impactful play of the game, third quarter, 32 seconds left, 2nd and 6 situation for the Eagles offense as the Rams are down 13-16. And don't worry, we'll get to that number 15 score you see at the top of the screen. And here the Eagles are yet again passing the football as Ethan Evans, the Rams punter, had a fantastic punt, and the Eagles are now backed up on their side of the field at the 8-yard line. So the end zone's pretty much, a 5-step drop away from being a safety there for the Eagles and Jalen Hurts. And out of this, the Rams are yet again in their nickel package, 5 DBs on the field. And ironically, they're running the same exact play as I showed you on the first impactful play of this video, of this breakdown, which is you're going to get an inside linebacker blitzing and somebody else dropping into coverage to kind of confuse everybody on the offense. So yet again, you're going to be getting Omar Speights blitzing in, and everyone else who are different players will be Kier Thomas, who's in on this play at outside linebacker. You're going to get Neville Gallimore, who's in, and you're going to get Tyler Davis, who's also in, and then Michael Hoyt is going to be the one dropping into coverage, And then Christian Roseboom will drop a little more further behind there into zone as well. So a different crew for the most part, other than the two inside linebackers, Roseboom and Spades. But the same exact play again, was the Rams are probably hoping for somebody to screw up again and hopefully free Omar Spades or somebody else to get to Jalen Hurts and cause some pressure, get a sack of some sorts. So that's what the Rams defense is doing. And again, the Eagles are passing the football. But again, I have it on this angle. I think the routes are irrelevant on this play. So let's let it go a little bit and see what the heck happens. So you get everyone dropping to the coverage. You get Omar blitzing again. And then on this play, you do see Mekhi Becton does see it, does get his hands on Omar Spades there and says, nope, you're not going to get me a second time on this play. But let's let it go a little bit more here. And then right here, I think it's ultra important to point out is that you can see Dallas Goedert is helping right tackle Lane Johnson, but then eventually he's going to release and kind of be like this check down slant in the middle of the field there after he has a little check block. And then on top of that, you see, all right, Jordan is also doing a good job on the left side there. As you know, he's a fantastic left tackle as well. But then I think the main key here is that you see Cam Jurgens and Landon Dickerson, the center and the guard here on Gallimore here, is that they just do a poor job of blocking him straight up. As you see, the center here, Cam Jurgens gets beat to that inside, but then Landon Dickerson just gives him a little nudge. He really doesn't get his hands on Gallimore, the D tackle. He really doesn't try to drive him away and get underneath him, have a good, quote unquote base and really get your hands on him. He just kind of gives him a shoulder nudge, and that effort there by him and then the center just flat out getting beat gets Gallimore a free shot on Jalen Hurts. But like I said earlier, you got Dallas Goedert who was coming free down the middle. Let's let it go a little bit more here. And again, it was just real quick, a poor job by the center blocking, and then the help from the left guard was practically nothing other than just a quick little shoulder nudge, just not good enough at all. As you can see, free shot at Jalen Hurts as he's standing in the end zone there. But let's let it go a little bit more. Right here, I was very, very shocked to see Jalen Hurts hold on to the football here, as I thought he clearly could have at least thrown it at the feet of Dallas Goedert, or even just thrown it decently where he would have a chance to catch it, as Roseboom was about 4 or 5 yards away from Goedert. There was no Rams defender nearby Goedert there. So it was shocking to see that Jalen Hurts decided to just hold on to the football and take the safety, as I really thought he could have got the pass off to Goedert, thrown it at his feet, maybe even thrown it accurately, and he gets a first down. But nope, Jalen Hurts holds on to it, and Gallimore, who was rotating in, he's been a backup this entire year for the Rams, beats 2 All-Pro, Pro Bowl level linemen, or you can argue just one, and the second one really didn't help, and he gets a crucial, impactful safety on this play that leads to the score being 15 Rams, 16 Eagles, right after this big quarterback sack he gets on Jalen Hurts. But wow, what a fantastic effort by him. What a poor job by the Eagles O-line yet again. And then a questionable decision by Hurts to not chuck it near Goddard's direction at his feet, or really I thought he could have caught it and got a first down. But all that came together and said, nope, Rams are going to get the points. And what a huge defensive stop this ended up being. What an impactful play this was right at the end of the third quarter. On this third impactful play of the game, fourth quarter, 4 minutes, 47 seconds left. 1st and 10 situation for the Eagles offense as the Rams are down 15-22 at this point in the game. And we'll get to that number 28 score you see at the above screen there. And the Eagles offense decide to run an inside zone run play to the right of the screen. And what that looks like really fast here is that all the linemen are going to be area blocking to the direction they're running the zone. So to the right, so you'll get blocks here. Everyone kind of shifting to the right, so forth and so forth. Then you'll get this tight end kind of going up the field to get to second level. And then usually on zone plays, because there's unblocked defenders, since everyone's going to one direction, right, blocking on one side, there's usually some other defenders who might be creeping up on that opposite side that might be unblocked too, could sometimes from behind go and tackle the running back. So on this, and you see this a lot now, you'll get the tight end or some player of some sorts will be coming across the field to block whoever shows up unblocked on the opposite side of the field. So that's what Goddard is doing there. And then you'll be getting Saquon Barkley, of course, on the inside handoff, trying to find a lane, following the bend, bounce, or bang rules for a running back. Now, bend meaning, do you find a cutback of some sorts? So when you're running it to the right, is there an alternate route where you can cut it back and run it that way? Bounce, meaning, okay, I'm supposed to go inside, but then do I bounce it to the opposite side, to the outside, and try to get yardage that way? Or bang, meaning, hey, I see a hole, I see a lane, and I'm going to slam it forward to the designed area. Those are the rules for a running back, the bang, bounce, or bend rule. And that's what Saquon is looking for on any type of zone run play, inside or outside, but specifically on this inside there. And the Rams defense is in their traditional 3-4 base defense look. And what that is that there's 3 D tackles, 2 outside linebackers, and then 2 inside linebackers. So again, 3 meaning the 3D tackles, 4 meaning 4 linebackers, 2 inside, 2 outside. And on this, because the Eagles are likely to be running the football, they decided to bring Quentin Lake closer to the line of scrimmage, or in the box, quote unquote, to help out with run support. And they're in a good look. They got their biggest D tackles possible. They've been doing a solid job majority of this game containing the run game, other than a play here or there that got away from them. And they look to, again, keep up their track of stopping the run, laying the fourth, trying to get the ball back to their offense and give them any shot, to win this game. So let's let it play a little bit and see what the heck happens. And as you can see, you'll get Saquon getting the handoff, everyone following the rules. You see the tight end. And then a big key factor here, I want to rewind it just a little bit, is that Jared Verse, who is the outside linebacker on the right of the screen, his job and his area that he's responsible for and run fits is this outside. He has to contain that outside area. He's the only one out there on that edge of the O-line, other than a corner that's on the far side of this field to his right. He's responsible for what you would call maybe the E gap, right? If we were to letter all the gaps in between the linemen. So it would be A gap, B gap, C gap in between the tight end and the tackle. D gap would be outside the tight end. And then you could say the E gap would be even a little bit farther out there. So he's the only guy responsible for that D to E gap. I would say the E gap based on how wide he was there. So with that said, let's let it play again a little bit more here. He sees that Saquon's getting an inside zone handoff, and he totally says, you know what, I'm going to go help gang tackle on the inside there and try to help out and meet Saquon there. and totally abandons his outside area there. Where, again, he should be helping on the outside contain on that E gap. But he says, nope, I'm going to go help in the middle. And again, if you remember, the bang, bounce, or bend rules for the running back on zone. Bang it in. Bend it if you see a cutback. Or bounce it to the outside. And Saquon, being the all-world talent that he is, sees that he has no room to bang it in. No room to bend it, cut back in. So he decides to bounce it to the outside. And he guessed correctly. Because why? Jared Verse, who was again supposed to have that area, decided to go inside, and no one is there on the outside contain. Wow. So let's let it play a little bit more. And then boom, you could see a D tackle is not going to make that tackle there. And Saquon, just the absolute freak athlete that he is, gets a big enough jump cut to hit it and bounce it to the outside. And once he gets some space to run, I mean, nobody can catch him. But again, this only happened because Jared Verse, who's there in the middle of the field, who should be on the outside there guarding that E gap, was not. Saquon saw it, read it, his instincts kicked in, and maybe Jared Verse is there to make the tackle, and this thing doesn't end up being another long touchdown by Saquon Barkley. So what an impactful play this was, as the Eagles did get to 28 points. And after Jake Elliott missed another PAT to keep the game within a couple touchdowns, I might add. But again, this doesn't happen, I believe, if Jared Verse doesn't take that risky gamble on the inside when he should have been on the outside helping out there. But he bailed from a spot, and Eagles, Saquon made him pay. What an impactful play this was late in the game. On this fourth impactful play of the game, fourth quarter, 2 minutes 51 seconds left in the ball game, third and goal situation for the Rams offense, as they are down 15-28 at this point. And I know it says 21 above, we'll get to that very shortly, but here they are on the doorstep of scoring and making it a one-score game late in the fourth, as they had been driving down the field with ease and very quickly right after Saquon Barkley's big touchdown. And here they are, going to be passing the football. And I think the only route that's worthy of showing on this play is the slant by tight end Colby Parkinson, who is here. He'll be running that slant. And everyone else will be running routes, of course. But I'm only highlighting him on this play because I think it's key to show that how dang good Matthew Stafford is. So there's that. And then everyone else pass blocking the other routes are going. And then the Eagles defense is running man-to-man coverage. So you have Darius Slay man with Colby. You have the other linebacker here man-to-man with Williams. The other DBs are man with Cooper Kupp, Demarcus Robinson. And then they are doubling up on Puka Nacua. They are bracket coveraging him. So one person's man, another person following him as well. They're double covering him. And then Zach Bond, the linebacker, is playing zoned here. So it's kind of like a cover one look with only one person deep, technically, but everywhere else is man to man. So let's let it go a little bit and see what the heck happens. Okay, so you see everyone following their man. Again, real quick, Darius Slay on the tight end, Parkinson, linebacker on Williams, And then Bond here is zone. And what usually a linebacker does when he's in zone in the middle and everyone else is in man-to-man, he's either reading the quarterback's eyes, seeing where his head is and where he's possibly going to throw the football, or he's kind of looking around to see if anyone else is coming free around him. But in this case, Bond, decides to go more to the right side as he kind of steps to that direction. But at the same time, he still is keeping eyes on Matthew Stafford and where he's going to throw. Okay, let's let it go a little bit more here on the film. And look, at Matthew Stafford doesn't even bother to survey the field. He already had it in his mind that he was throwing to Colby Parkinson there on the slant. No doubt about it. So you could say, hey, man, that's a risky throw. You have man coverage by Slay, who's a good corner still. You have Bond there in zone coverage right there. How is he going to fit that in, and how is he going to do it? Well, Matthew Stafford is one of the few quarterbacks in the entire NFL who was able to no-look, quote-unquote, or to fool defenders with his eyes to open up passing lanes. He's done it time after time after time in his career with the Lions and tons of, famous moments with the Rams. So what he does here, as you can see the way his head is facing, he's looking this way. Rightfully so at Parkinson, he wants to throw the slant. But by looking that way and keeping his eyes in that direction, he's able to have all this open area here in the middle of the field to work with to throw that football. So let's let it go a little bit more here. And there we go. You can see, look at, fantastic job by Darius. He's got good coverage. Good job by Zach Bond. He's, again, reading the eyes of the quarterback, saying, oh, he's looking this way. Let me slide that way, and maybe I can get a reception or break this pass up, force a fourth down of some sorts. But Matthew Stafford, like I said, has all this open field to throw the football, and he knows looking that way is going to help free up that middle. And, well, you guessed it. Let's let it go a little bit more here. Boom. Sidearm throws, doesn't even step into it. It's all pure arm strength, arm talent, and look at all that free real estate to throw the football. I mean, Bond wasn't expecting it. Darius Slay probably wasn't expecting it. And, man, what an elite level throw on a gotta have it down where the Rams needed a touchdown here to be able to stay in the ball game. And Matthew Stafford just throws an absolute strike. No look, fooling defenders, sidearm. I mean, this is just elite level quarterback play, as you can see here. Wow. Incredible throw. And then Darius Slay, who had decent coverage, maybe could have got his hands on the football, but I think because he wasn't expecting that pass to go off, I mean, he's just another hand away from getting his hand on the football. And gosh, what a crazy throw this was to look at and to dissect. I mean, that's an elite level quarterback play in a gotta have it moment. They had to score a touchdown here on this drive quickly. They did that. Matthew Stafford did. Now the Rams end up here 21-28, only down by 6 points after, yet again, Jake Elliott missed another PAT. But what an impactful play this was. Elite level quarterback play right here. Wow. On this fifth and final impactful play of the game, fourth quarter, 1 minute, 14 seconds left. 3rd and 2 situation for the Rams offense as they are down 22-28. And who would have thought after Saquon's long touchdown run that they would even have a chance to win the ball game at all? Scored a big touchdown like we illustrated earlier. And defense got a huge stop on the Eagles to get the ball back. And Matthew Stafford in this passing attack driving down the field yet again. And here they are with a chance to win the ball game with a touchdown and a PAT after that. And here they are in 3rd and 2, going to be passing the football. So let's start with the routes at the bottom. You're going to get DeMarcus Robinson running like a streak or go route. And then Cooper Kupp underneath is going to be running a quick slant. And really that streak go route by DeMarcus Robinson is to free Cooper Kupp up, right? Get defenders to run with him vertical to free up the underneath slant, or to cause chaos and get defenders to run into each other. They're going to get Williams, the running back, a little check down swing route. You're going to get tight end Tyler Higbee running a little whip in. So he's going to whip to the outside and then whip it back in to the inside. So he's going to like fake the out and then whip back in, like an in route. That makes sense. And then Puka Nacua is going to be running a deeper corner route. And that's what's going on with the Rams offense on this play here. Now, the defense for the Eagles. Right now they have 2 defenders deep. They're 2 safeties. But in reality, as the play is going to be almost snapped, CJ Gardner-Johnson, as you can see him starting to walk down, ends up being in man coverage with Tyler Higbee. So let's let it play for a second. It'll make more sense as I let it go from there. So, okay. You see Gardner-Johnson walking down. So you get Slay here, man. Get man there. Man here. Man there. Man with the running back there. You're going to get zone behind there. Linebacker bond zone there. So it ends up being cover 1 man, which is 1 person responsible deep. Everywhere else is man. And then there's an underneath zone, which is a linebacker by himself there. And that's what the Eagles are doing on this 3rd and 2 situation. So let's let it go a little bit more and see what the heck happens. Okay. So immediately Stafford goes to his first read, which is Cooper Kupp on that slant. And you see DeMarcus Robinson, he was running that streak go route, and he does a good job clearing out the way. But just like any linebacker would when he's in zone underneath, he's reading the quarterback eyes, no different than when that was happening on the previous touchdown drive where Stafford led Bond away, throwing a no-look touchdown pass to the tight end earlier. But this time, he says, all right, I see it immediately. I'm not letting you complete that pass to Kupp. So he slides that way. But at the very same time, let's let it go just a little bit more here. Man, oh man, 2 huge things happen. So again, real quick, good job by Bond. He covered the slant, that first read. But you can see here, Matthew Stafford's taking a huge quarterback sack from Jalen Carter. And on top of that, you see tight end Tyler Higbee going to be pretty dang open on that whip in route because CJ Gardner-Johnson slips in the snow. And that was going to be Matthew Stafford's second read. So first read was Kupp on the slant. The second read, in my opinion, was going to be the whip in. And then the third, depending on what was going on, maybe the check down, maybe the corner. But definitely the slant to the whip in were the first 2. But because of Jalen Carter's immediate pressure, I mean, Stafford had no time to look for Tyler Higbee, who again was going to be wide open there for the first down. And who knows, maybe he even scores right there based on his toughness, his run after catch ability, and how he just bulldozes through defenders more often than not. Man, Jalen Carter got there in time. But let's rewind it. How did Jalen Carter get there and possibly and likely, and he did, save the day for the Eagles? Let's rewind it a little bit here. So, as you can see, ball is snapped. And this is just really crazy to see. So, Jalen Carter gives a fake shimmy move to the inside towards the center Bo Limmer here. And he does that, and then he eventually attacks back straight ahead where he originally probably wanted to go. So he gives the fake shimmy inside and then attacks to the outside. Okay, but let's let it go here and see why that was so effective. So, okay, there. He gives the shimmy shake, and Bo Limmer just completely bites on it. I mean, you see his head turn, and he's like, oh, he's coming that way. That ends up not being the case, obviously. Let's let it go a little bit more. Boom. Lets him go, which is crazy. And then on top of that, you have Kevin Dotson helping out on the outside there, which is very interesting to say the least, because there's no doubt about it, everyone. Jalen Carter is the Eagles' best defensive player. Has been the whole season. Had been the entire time this game. And for him to not get a double team here was crazy to see. In the most crucial times where you need to do your best to block and defend against their best defender, pass rusher, the Rams just completely botched it between Bo Limmer, the center, and Kevin Dotson. Why they're not double teaming him immediately, I guess we'll never know unless the players and the coaches come out and say why that didn't happen. But it didn't. Whether it was because the fake shimmy inside got Bo Limmer confused, whether Kevin Dotson was getting called to help on the outside, whether it was other reasons that are unknown, to have Jalen Carter have a free shot to the quarterback in the crucial, most important drive of everyone's season here is really remarkable, and I just cannot believe that happened. But kudos to him for making a huge play and taking advantage of the miscues on the Rams O-line there. Wow. Because, again, let's fast forward a little bit more here. If Matthew Stafford's able to get to his second read, which is Tyler Higbee, I mean, that's at minimum a first down catch. They get at least 4 more plays to score. And the way it was going the whole end of the fourth quarter, I think it's very likely the Rams have a game-winning touchdown at PAT. And who knows, maybe the Eagles win at the end with a late field goal, but I think they put themselves in the lead with very minimal time left, whether it's a catch and a touchdown or a catch and the first down. But again, Stafford didn't even have time to survey the field and get to that second read on Higbee. Man, oh man. What a huge play. What an impactful play that was. And yes, the Rams had a 4th down after, but again, Jalen Carter got immense pressure, wasn't blocked correctly, even the play after this, and that was it. Rams season is done. Eagles survive after an insane game and a legendary divisional round matchup in the snow that I'm sure football fans on both sides and football fans everywhere else not rooting for the Eagles or Rams will remember this one for a while, as it was a game of the ages in the second round. And ultimately, Eagles made more impactful plays than the Rams, and they won this game. But wow, what a way to end it here.